Good morning. So today is 19th September of 2025, and I'm taking a challenge that you will a sort of a challenge from Hitesh because uh, I'm a student of Hitesh on Udemy, of course. So Hitesh gives us one challenge that we have to actually that I have to write down all the controllers by my own without watching the solution. So that's why I'm working on it. And I find out a lot of interesting thing in this particular question. So this is the actually introduction video of today and a big video. So I'm just simply want to show you that what's the project structures. So first of all thing, this is just simply showcasing you that what is the index of JS. So here you can see all the like information about our server. So like application express app. So where basic stuff and all, you can also know a little bit. Mm, I don't know, say like dependencies that are using. So you can see that here is there are routers. I think so visible to you and a global view, and it's pretty much interesting because the previous time when I was uh, when I had created some project based on Express.js, so this time I'm just creating the like error handling by my own. Like on every step, I'm creating a error handle by using like a async handler function. But here I learned one interesting thing that is a global error that Express can handle errors gradually if we are throwing that. So okay, this is a very good thing, and this is for handler that if the particular page is not found, or route is not found, it will automatically express so one error that this router is not found. It's very good as a production grade app. So this is the difference. That's yeah, seriously, this application JS part, and I'm seriously I told that I learned a lot of things about the production grade and startup based like how it works. Yeah, a application in a company. Okay, so. And by the way, the first of all thing I will to discuss one thing, another thing that my English is not too much good because I'm still uh, working with my communication and English because you know that English is not too much tough, but it's hard to say. So here's a .env folder that you can see, but I'm not showing because I'm just to put it down all the stuff like all my secret things in this here. So now it's a controllers folder where we have multiple controllers like course controller, course progress controller, course purchase, health, user pay because these two controller basically used for payment integrations. Okay, for payment management. So I'm not touching now it now. And here you can basically see you can see the database.js. So I'm just showcasing you that how it's quite good and how can people think that it is seriously it's built by a experienced developer. So basically in this particular like this file right I'll like the developer use a object oriented class. Okay, so we have a class the database connection which have all the functionalities that we are using. So okay, so first of all, we initialize our constructor with this, that when we call this particular function, then this constructor will be called automatically because this is a default constructor. And okay, and here we are just simply handling some events, like event-driven architectures. So actually, I think you are already know the mongoose because so if you know the mongoose, you'll know that mongoose can work with on events. Okay, so mongoose have multiple events. So let's simply listen here one event. Like mongoose have internal images who emit some particular event, and we are just simply listening here that on if mongoose connected. If connected means our database already connected, so we're just making that. Okay, and this process on int and segment trim, these are pretty much interesting, and I will tell you at the end of this video, like not the video, at the end of this particular review on this particular code. Okay, so you can see that the developer create a connect function. Actually, I'm so sorry, it's not function, it's a method. Okay, in a class called function methods. Okay, so the create a method connect, okay, and it's not taking any arguments. We are just taking the URL, the MongoDB URI from our event.env, and simply we create some options that we can pass, like the use new URL parser, and the max pool size. Actually, I don't know about this particular stuff, but I will at the end of the this project I will definitely mm, learn it, that what this connection options and why this is required. I will tell you at a later at the second part of this video. And here we are simply checking that we are in development or production. So if we are development, then Mongoose go. Actually, we are setting the Mongoose setting. This is set. Okay, the debug and true. Okay, so Mongoose gives us some ability to do that. Okay, so now here, as you know, this is our like we know this particular method. The mongoose.connect is the most famous that very like connecting with our database. Okay, and this is a retry count because this is already like if our MongoDB connected with our Express server, then we can see that the retry count is 0 because already is connected. We don't need to we're not retry multiple times. Okay, and there's also error handling something stuff. Now in the here you can see a function that handle connection error. Okay, so what we are saying that if the retry count means this particular value, oh, okay, if less than max retries at the top of the part that you can maximum 3 times you can retry the connection database connections. Okay, so then you can increase the simple coding stuff here that the retrying connection attempt. Okay, and I promise and every time I want to try to connect. Okay, and if it is maximized, then I just simply told that we attempt maximum time, it is not connected, and we are just simply exit to the process code exist. Okay, and after that handle the disconnection. So if you want to, if your database connection is in like in somehow in network issue or something, if it is failed, then we can retry using this particular function. Okay, this particular function to handle this connection. Okay, and after that we have handle app terminations that we have to close our database connections from our Express server. So this time we are using this particular method and get connection status. Just simply share about just simply we can because sometimes we need some details about our connections of MongoDB server that is connected, this to disconnected, that is a server connected or not. So basically we're taking all the information within a single go in an object. That's it. And this is an object-oriented stuff. If you're a Java developer, you already know, and if you know about the prototypes and object-oriented programming JavaScript, then you can easily know this particular stuff. So now here the part, this process on segment, it means that whenever we write down any that we are like typing a lot of instructions in our project terminal. So you can thought that is SIGINT means CTRL plus C means interruption that we are stopping the server. So when we are pressing CTRL C in our project terminal, so this time this handle termination and handle termination method called. And now this dot bind is a special method. You can search on MDN docs. I'm not telling you what is done. And they simply told you that in a basic way that bind means we integrate a particular object with this function because this you can if I go this particular function, you can see that it will be like okay. So the context like it will take the MongoDB connection out. Okay. So bind means what? That this is referred to this database connection. So if we are like using this particular method in outside of the anywhere, any other class, so this time this particular method only works for this. Actually, you can basically think you like that. Okay. I can tell you later on more like in more practical way. Okay. That's it. Because I'm just simply sharing the stuff to the here. And now here, this is go for the database connections. And now, before writing the controllers, we have to check out the one part that is called middleware because we have to read the middlewares. So now we have here three middlewares that auth.middleware.js, error middleware.js, and validation middleware. So the motor things, because I am writing as I already wrote the user controller, so that's I already read this authentication auth middleware. So now here, so we are creating a middleware is authenticate, and we have a high order function like catch async, where we are just simply it's a high order function simply handling the asynchronous task to handle errors. Okay, so here you can see. But how can we authenticate our particular user? We definitely want some, because if it is session based, then we need the session ID, and if it is token based, then we need the token. So simply we just simply fetch our tokens from cookies request cookies, because we are using cookies first as a dependency as a dependencies of this application. So now after that we have to simply verify these cookies that it is valid or not, it is overwritten or it is malfunction or not. So if all of the stuff is good, then just simply create to another field in the request header, because as you know the request header is an object. Okay, so we are editing extra field on request, the request.id and decode ID. Another will simply find that if it is either present or not. If it is present, then we just simply store in the user. That's it. Otherwise, you just simply throw the error directly here. So now here we are checking the errors about the error. So we are accepting that we can getting most of the time durability errors. Okay. So whenever it's an web token error, we just simply throw away you have to pass the message and the 401. There's a bad request like that. Actually 401 unauthorized, and this is error name. Okay, the simple stuff. Now here we have another middleware for restrict access, like that authorization. This is authentication part, and you can think, and this is authorization part. Okay, that a particular user have or authorize a user have like authorized to a particular resource on our server or not. Okay, just simple stuff. You can read it. Okay, now optional authentication middleware that they already create.
Create user account. Okay, so it's just simple because I'm not checking the other stuff, like I'm just simply taking out this, digging out from the requested body, because our is authenticate and a validation function which will validate all the stuff. So I'm just simply put to the here. I will just simply destructure it, the object request body, and after that I will just simply check that any field could be undefined, or like it will be like become like it's just empty string. So I'm just simply, this is for extra check. I think it does not require for this particular portion, because already we are checking at our middleware function to validate the route. Okay, so now after that we are just checking that this email already record in our database or not. So we just simply write down on, like, just simply use find one filter, find one, and by using email. And after that, if check is if this particular email is available, then we just simply throw an error that email already exists. Okay, with 400, that's a bad request. So after that we create the user, just little stuff. So now here we have some possibilities we can add in a future, and we have to add because it's required, but I'm not in a but I'm not configure it not today, like like email, like sending OTPs for email email confirmation. So in my mind I will use resend or node mailer for this particular project. I think resend is could be best, as I thought, because I use it multiple times. So I will use this here. So we can send some confirmation that your account is created, please log in to verify your account, or something like that. Okay, so here you have something like authenticate the user, means login. You know that all the stuff will be available. So my basic workflow is that I'm just finding that email and password. After that I'm just checking in our database that this particular email is available on our database or not. Okay, we are just simply doing that. If it is exist, if it is not exist, then we throw that this is invalid email or password, because we are not share actual issue, because for this login part, because it could be hacker can intercept our credential, because hacker can could know that this email is already used. So this particular email we have a user. Okay, and after that we are checking that is just simply checking the password, the current password with the existing password using the bcrypt internally. Okay, after that I'm just simply generate a refresh token, and put into this user object, like this user object, and after that is saving. Is save is like a method given by the mongoose, okay, for save a particular data, because mongoose have direct access to the mongodb database, so that's it could be it for that, that's why it is possible. So after that I am generating the access token, and here's a cookie option for that, for particular cookies. And in response, I'm here's something like hybrid option that are setting up cookies. So I'm thinking that we have actually this particular server have multiple front ends, you can say the multiple clients. So suppose that I am using a React. So in a React, if I store this, if I send this particular cookie option, so there could be one issue that everyone faced. I don't know, you building any project using, I don't know, you are building some project where you are using cookies for the authentication. So I think you face this issue that every time our cookie will be rejected or cookie will be not stored, like cookie could be not stored in a cookie storage. Okay, so this is the issue. So that's why I am share these tokens as a response body, that can the client can took this particular cookies and store into their local storage. Okay, they can process these cookies but they cannot modify it, because when they are modified, so the JWT could be malformed, and this is handled by JWT JSON web token, so you know that all the stuff. Okay, so this is the thing. And after that, this is a simple logout route, logout controller, get current user profile. Here I have to work more, because in my mind I thought that I could use I would we use here MongoDB aggregation pipelines, or I could use populate. Okay, to generate all the like to get all the information from a particular user. But as a like in my opinion, if I talk about the best approach, that for get current user we have to send only the in like important informations, like their username, their email, their password, when they create their account, when they last sign in, rather than the post, or they are like accessing their courses like that. Okay, so but we have a update profile is simply just update. We just handle here the file upload and file uploadation stuff with avatar. Okay, and after that is simply update. And so this update after this update we will get a new op response from the mongoose, the newly created data, like modified data, and just simply send it as a response. So all the stuff here. And now the main stuff where we need to like use a email, need to email sender, because like suppose that change user password that we have here, change user password. So how can we know that this particular user want to change? So I have to validate the particular user, I have to send some OTP to change their password like that, etc. So that's why. And if they modify their password, I have to send a response to this particular user that your password is already changed. Okay, other than directing them. And also the forgot password case also. So this particular area need email confirmations, so I will do that yeah, tomorrow. And obviously I'll share everything to you. Okay, not you, like everyone. That's actually I like that, I like to share. Okay, so I think that's enough for today, and thank you for watching. And if you want to like, if you want to see my another videos, that what I do in a day, like it is my development video. So after that I will go for the lead code grinding, and today is Sunday, so that's why I will revise all the previous question that I have already done, okay, by my own at the first time, and another question that I have not done by me at the first app. Okay, so let's go. Done by me at the first app. Okay, so let's go.